So here at Edible Acres, pretty much everywhere in this site is at least partial shade, if not quite shady. There's some openings here or there, but there's nowhere that's an open field, full day of sun. And so I'm always on the search for more and more plants that can tolerate being in partial shade. Right here we're looking at plants that have access to southern exposure, but late day shade. Pretty nice sunny spot here. A lot of this area, we're looking south, that way is north. A lot of this area is getting good sun, but as we get into this larch grove, heading north, it's shadier and shadier. So I'm very, very pleased to find that an unlikely candidate for being not only shade tolerant insofar as being able to grow, but actually quite productive in the shade, or partial shade, is the hazelnut. This is the biggest, fullest one I have out of a group, and this is getting a good dose of sun, but I have others that are in shade and still producing. So this one, again, that way south, does not get any morning light. It's got a walnut right there, it's got a pine just next to it, and then late day shade. Nice luscious plant, but it actually doesn't have a huge amount of nuts on it. The nice surprise for me is as I look into this grove, hazelnut, 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 they're all in shady conditions and very pleasantly surprising. The northernmost of them, in between a larch and a spruce, is the most productive of the whole group, at least this year. They're loaded with nuts. Loaded. So this tree, or this shrub, is a little bit more spindly and sparse than the one that's in fuller sun, but somehow has the most nuts out of the whole group. How well they'll ripen is still a little bit of a question, although I've had these ripen beautifully before. In a really, really wet year, will there be issues? I'm not sure, but I'm always excited to find these sorts of plants that, hey, here's some shade, I'll still make fat and protein and minerals for you to eat. So hazelnut, really worthwhile. Obviously full sun is what most people recommend, but if you have somewhat shady conditions, you do not need to clear cut the woods in order to get nuts to grow. So in between a larch and a spruce with very little direct sunlight. So let me zoom out and show you. That is due south. So as you can imagine, the sun's coming up and over, and it passes through pines all the way, even to the west of it later in the day. A little bit of more sun maybe late day, but very little direct sunlight and tremendous number of nuts.